Everyone, thanks for joining us for another ball review. This one is for the Roto Grip Hustle Camo. This one will feature me, while the one for the Hustle Wine will feature Angel. My layout is 4 by 5 by 2.5, so going pin up on this one, and a strong pin at that, rather than the pin in the ring like I've done with most other stuff. Low differential stuff and weaker balls period are usually kind of hit and miss for me, but they allow me to use kind of a cheat code on the layout. A 4-inch pin is crazy strong on most stuff, but with the 253 RG, going pin up drops that a little bit, but at only a no 30 differential, I can go 4 inches on the pin to pap and make the ball a lot more naturally continuous without it being overkill like it would be on an Axiom or a Phase 2, for example. It's actually a layout that I like using on the IQ Tour line quite a bit. We use Turbo Quad Classic grips and Turbo Urethane thumb solids, and Reactifoam is what we like to clean the shiny stuff with because it gets them clean without changing or altering the surface. You can buy all this stuff, including the Hustle Camo, at Bowler's Mart. All you have to do is follow the link in the description or at the end of the video. That lets them know that I sent you, and it keeps the videos coming. The Hustle Camo also features the VTC solid cover stock, which is tamed down quite a bit from the VTC 20 that's on the Hustle PBR, and that puts the Hustle Camo squarely in Hustle Inc. territory and back at a more appropriate hook potential for the HP1 line. The PBR and wrap are a couple of ridiculous bang for your buck balls, but if you're needing and intending to buy a medium to light oil ball and you end up with one of those, they're just going to be too much. The PBR outhooks the IQ Tour Solid, and the Camo, like I said, is right in Hustle Inc. territory, which is where the electrifies and burners live too. The total package makes it virtually a Hustle Inc. reincarnation. There's some small and subtle differences, but as we'll see, I think that makes the Camo a bit better tuned. We're here once again at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas on the house shot. Big thanks to them for always taking care of us. I hope you all enjoyed the different viewpoints, seeing my approach in the frame. We did the same with Angel in the wine review. I still look a bit wooden, and my right arm is just as useless as it was when I was using it to throw the ball, but it's come a long way and I'm comfortable putting it on video now. As you can see, the Camo's right at home, and like I mentioned in the Burner Solid video, with this newer style of low-end ball that the Hustles really started with the Pro and Say like 5 years ago, that puts them pretty perfectly in the house shot at league zone. Low to medium RG, keeping the roll stable and controllable with enough flare to further increase consistency without making them too strong, and a lower to medium strength cover puts it right in low to medium volume and medium length conditions territory. The Camo makes for really easy, relaxed execution. It's got some pop, and that layout helps up the strength a bit, and you can see the continuation too. I know that's a buzzword, but with lower differential balls like these in the IQ Tours, the Achilles heel for those is that they can be flat, slow, or soft sometimes. However, like I said at the beginning, that lets you get away with drilling them stronger and making them more continuous. As I keep getting deeper, it needs a bit of help. The shine on the cover in a core that's not built for getting deep requires a bit more roll out of me, but it's a simple adjustment. It's not like I'm having to really wrench on it or slow it down a bunch. I kind of like slow rolling the ball anyway. It gives me more control over the reaction. It's not quite as strong as the IQ Tour Solid, but if you shined up an IQ TS, it rolls pretty well just like this. I know we all want to see the Hustle Inc. comparison, but I need to put a few shots of the PBR up here first. Being that they're both solids of the same base cover formula, you need to know that there's zero overlap here. I know the PBR comes sanded, but a little surface on the Camo makes it a bit earlier and smoother. It doesn't turn it into the kind of monster the PBR is. I think that surface aside, it's easy to see the PBR is a significant amount stronger than the Camo, and this is at a 5-inch pin to pap too, so it's also a weaker layout than I've got on the Camo. I mentioned before that when all Roto's formulas went from the 20 versions back to just the base formula, that rolled the strengths back into a more balanced or accurate zone for the overall strength of ball that should be in that particular line. Bang for your buck is nice, sure, and there's still plenty of bang out of the Camo, but it's also nice knowing what strength of ball you're actually buying. Seeing the PBR rolling here, they're definite compliments, not competition. Now we'll look at the ink, and my initial reaction was that it's stronger and sharper. For all you tech junkies, this is a new Utah ink, and it's got the same layout on it as the Camo. I had a couple original Utah inks when they first came out. I had a couple San Antonio inks when production for those moved to the global plant for a couple years, and then this one that I'm throwing was poured in Utah when they moved production back before discontinuing it. I think it was pretty universally accepted or understood that the Utah inks were longer and sharper than the San Antonio inks, and they're also a brighter shade of that color. I find the new Utah inks to be virtually identical to the original Utah inks. I know a lot of you won't know or care about that. It was really a pretty minor difference overall, but this will mean something and possibly affect a decision or layout choice for the purists. As I start moving, the ink gets closer to the camo. Like I said, I thought the ink was both quicker and stronger, but once I got done throwing them, I decided that the ink was just quicker. However, that also makes it a little bit more wiggly and inconsistent from deep. The camo is less sensitive to the dry on the outside, but also less sensitive to the oil and angle, so as good as the ink is or was, for me the camo is better. Small differences really, but tripping a 4 or a 6 or whatever it is on my side now, I still think of it as a 4 pin, or even putting 10 back with the camo on a shot that the ink would leave a 4/6 pin on is a 21 pin difference in the middle of a big string, and that's assuming you make the spare. For ratings, I'm putting the camo at a 5 for hook, a 7 for length, and a 6 for back end strength, which puts it a bit stronger than the other lighter oil balls in the Storm and Global lines, and a step down from the PBR, giving a little variation to the HP1 line. If you made a 4-ball arsenal with the 4 hustles available right now, even if you drilled them all the same, you're putting together a great league arsenal and will even have some good looks for tougher stuff. We've seen a lot of the PBR on the Pro Tours since it came out, and a bit of the wine already from the women too. It's available now, it's a great replacement to the ink if you're missing it, or a whole lot cheaper IQ Tour Solid type of ball, and it gave me a great opportunity to spend way too much time on an intro that I'm way too proud of. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.